Hi everyone, welcome to another Sunday live stream. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend and thank you for joining me at 6 p.m. on a Sunday evening, prime time. So while I'm waiting for everyone to join, I will start out just by going over the structure of my live stream for anyone who is not familiar with it. So it's broken into 3 segments, 10 minutes each. And for the first 10 minutes, I'll go over our latest properties. For the second 10 minutes, I'll cover some of the blog posts and other informational content we've put out there, as well as anything interesting that I've come across that I thought may be interesting to share. And then finally, the big event, we'll do the vacation giveaway. All right, so again, and oh yes, I forgot to mention, as I always do in these live streams, I'll pause in between sentences or thoughts, make sure that there's, or check the chat to see if there are any interesting questions or conversations going on. I'll answer questions and join in as well. So feel free to ask any questions while you're here. All right, so you give me a second. All right, so again, while I'm waiting, oh, hello everyone. I see some people have joined. I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. It's still middle of July and very hot, I know, so also I hope everyone's staying cool. But quickly, while we're waiting for more people to join, I'll just cover who I am if there are any newcomers here. So my name's Erica. I have a company, Gokche Capital. Primarily, I buy and sell land. My website's gokchecapital.com, so if you're interested in selling land, you can go here, get your cash offer. You can also check out under Buy Land all of our available listings. But we do also have a lot of informational content that's free for anyone who is looking to sell or buy land or isn't a landowner or just interested in land. You can find most of our content by hovering over more and clicking blog. And I'll cover our latest blog posts, but we do long-form blog posts on individual topics. It's a wide range of topics, but anything that I've come across that I thought was interesting and may be relevant to landowners, buyers, and sellers. And these are usually at least 2,000-word articles. We try to go into in-depth on the topics. And since you're here on YouTube, we also have a YouTube channel. We have a whole library of Gokche knowledge videos where we do shorter videos. So not if you don't have time to read the full blog post. We do shorter, 7-8 minute videos on these topics as well, and you can go through that whole library on our YouTube channel. And also, if anyone's interested, we do have a few paid resources. So we have a couple courses, one on land due diligence that goes into a whole extensive breakdown of all the potential due diligence items you may want to look at when buying land. And we have a Gokche land investing program, which covers how we run our land investing business. And then I also have a book, Land Investing Mistakes. It includes 11 true stories, but it also includes a full due diligence checklist. Actually, the bulk of the book is the due diligence checklist. All right, so I see a few more people have joined. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great Sunday. All right. So this leads us to the first segment where I'll cover our latest properties. Now, as I was mentioning before, you can find all of our properties by clicking Buy Land under our home page. On our main listing page, you'll see a map. You can zoom in and out. And this shows where all of our properties are. The red pins are available properties. And if you click on a red pin, you'll get the property status, and then you can also get a link to that property's listing page. And below the map, we do have a table with all of the available listings. It gives a little bit of information, as well as the link again to that property's main listing page. All right, so this week I did post a couple properties. So let me cover them. The first is a property in Sandoval County, New Mexico. We've had a couple properties in this area. So you may be familiar with it if you've been looking at our listing pages for a while. This is Rio Rancho Estates, which is just to the north of Albuquerque. It's to the west of the city of Rio Rancho, which is, I believe, the third largest city in New Mexico and also the fastest growing. Now, Rio Rancho Estates the whole Rio Rancho area was part of a very large subdivision project that was created many, many years ago. Rio Rancho itself became a city, but there are still a big chunk of undeveloped properties to the west of it. It's not completely undeveloped. There are a number of people who are actually living in Rio Rancho Estates, mainly in mobile homes. But there is a lot of land out here. And I do say I got one question, anything in Hawaii? Not at the moment. I would love to get some land in Hawaii, but it's a little hard to come by, so we don't have anything right now. Sorry. Although that's actually, once I finish with this, I'll show you if you are interested in getting text alerts whenever we post a property in a particular state, I'll show you where to go to do that as soon as I finish covering this property. But so this lot, it does have access via dirt road. You can see there are some homes nearby. It's actually a corner lot, so it has access via 2 dirt roads. They're in pretty good shape. There is electricity within Rio Rancho Estates, but you may need to extend it to the property. I don't think you would need to extend it far because it does look like there are some homes here, but you may need to extend it a little bit. And water and sewer would be well and septic. And then the whole area, in fact, the entire Rio Rancho Estates is zoned CDRRE, which is essentially a rural residential zoning. And that allows for single-family homes, including mobile homes and agricultural uses, and this is according to our research. Although I do always recommend that you give the county a call to go over their rules and regulations. And the cash discount price, we have this at a very reasonable price. It's $1,999 plus the $395 document fee. And as with all of our properties, we do offer owner financing. Now with owner financing, again, we try to make the terms very easy and affordable. It's $1 down plus the $299 document fee, and then $199 per month for 15 months. It's 0% APR, so no interest, but you don't get the cash discount price when you purchase with owner financing. There's also no prepayment penalty and no credit check. There's actually no application process. You would simply go to our main listing page and click buy or hold, then click buy. So we have an automated checkout process, regardless of whether you're using owner financing or you're just going to pay the straight up cash price. So we try to make that whole process very easy. And for a limited time, we're also giving away a complimentary vacation voucher as part of a purchase of any property. Those are a few things to call out. I do see a few questions here. So anything cheap in Ohio for camping? We actually don't have any properties in Ohio at the moment, but I'm about to show you where you can go if you wanted to sign up for text alerts in a particular state. And another question, do you ever find property for someone if they want something other than what you offer? So unfortunately, that's not a service we offer. I'm actually not a real estate agent. I'm a land investor, so I purchase properties and then I sell them myself. I'm not able to, because I'm not licensed, I'm not able to help someone find property. What I do sometimes is provide consulting for due diligence. If you find a property and you're worried that it may have an issue and you want to make sure that you're getting a property that works for you. Hi, Linda. But you can find land specialist real estate agents on a site like LandWatch. So they may be your best bet for help finding a property that isn't one of ours. And just very quickly, if you do want to sign up for text alerts, you can click subscribe and then SMS text notifications. And this will let you can either receive a text alert whenever we post a property, or you can select your state of preference, and you can select up to 5 states. So then you'd only get a text when we post in that particular state. So then I did post 2 properties in Bledsoe County, Tennessee. They are very close to each other, although they're not adjacent. So they're both off of Route 127 here. Here you can see one, and the other is over here. So they're about here and here. Now just to zoom out, we're still in eastern Tennessee, not too far from Chattanooga. And this is a more rural area. So the property does front both Highway 28, and then there's also a dirt road on this side where the electric lines are run. It would be this road that you would use to access the property. I believe there's a fence that runs along the side of the highway, so you'd want to use this road. And each of these properties are a little under 0.9 acres. Now, we're about 10 minutes to Pikeville, which is the county seat, and 45 minutes to Fall Creek Falls State Park, which is the big draw for Bledsoe County. And another big thing about both of these properties is there is no zoning, according to our research, in Bledsoe County, so there wouldn't be restrictions at the county level on what you can do with the property. Although again, as I always say, it's a good idea to give the county a call to go over their rules and regulations. The thing though is there were some deed restrictions that were recorded when the whole subdivision was created. They never made an HOA, so I don't know if anyone's enforcing those restrictions, but they do restrict mobile homes and RVs. Again, though, I don't know if anyone is enforcing those deed restrictions. And as of right now, the cash discount price is $9,999. It's the same price for both properties. We do, again, offer owner financing. It's $1 down plus the $299 document fee and $199 per month for 75 months. Same thing, 0% interest, no prepayment penalty, and no credit check. No application process. All you have to do is click buy or hold, then click buy to get started. So these are the properties in Bledsoe County. There are, as I said, we're pretty close to Pikeville. So there are amenities in the nearby vicinity. Pikeville would have a hospital as well as most of the major stores you would need. So those are the properties that we just posted this week. If you have any questions about any of the properties, feel free to send me an email or chat with me offline. The other thing I'll note is you can also hold any of our properties. It's $25 for a 2-day hold if you wanted to take a closer look at a property and do your due diligence. Hi, Giselle. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having a great weekend. So I will now cover some of our latest blog posts. I did do a couple blog posts this weekend, or this week. One was this weekend. I covered a few more obscure topics related to various, well, one is the spotted owl, which may seem like an odd topic, but I thought it was an interesting topic to cover because there's actually, some of you may be familiar with the spotted owl controversy. It was a big controversy around 1990 in the whole West, but in Washington primarily, and then also California and Oregon. And it's an interesting story. It kind of highlights a lot of the same tensions, I think, that we keep seeing today when we're talking about vacant land and public land uses and the competing ways that people value land, want to use land, and competing ideas about what our rural landscape should look like. So it was an interesting topic for me. Basically, around 1990, a lot of people became worried about the loss of old growth forests, particularly in Washington, which was down to, I believe, around 6 or 7% of its old growth forest. As many of you may know, the timber industry was a big job driver in Washington. Particularly back then, it's come down as there's been a lot of logging. But people were very concerned about trying to preserve the last remnants of old growth forest. But at the time, there weren't many avenues to try and save them. So a bunch of conservation environmentalist groups, they were accused of essentially looking for an endangered species to try and protect in order to stop logging in the old growth forest. But it turns out that the spotted owl was actually endangered and in dramatic decline. It still is today. The spotted owl was eventually protected, but there was a huge controversy. A lot of people, you can actually see some interesting images if you just Google it, cartoons and swag from back then that shows just how much emotion was involved in the debate. But it was a very heated debate on both sides. The logging industry was already in decline, so there were a lot of loggers who were already worried about losing their jobs. And then, of course, a lot of people who were concerned that basically there was no old growth forest left. And if we didn't protect it now, it would be gone within 20 years, 10, 20 years. Anyway, the spotted owl was eventually protected, and that did end up helping the old growth forests. Some logging has been allowed in them, but they have been more or less preserved since then. The spotted owl, unfortunately, is still in decline because now, even though its habitat is more stable, there are species of eastern owl, the barred owl, that is now taking over its habitat, so that there's a whole nother threat to the species. But it's a really interesting, maybe that was too much information for all of you, but I thought it was really interesting as someone who is very curious about how we think about land and land uses and all the various competing interests that are involved. So it's worth looking also at some of the images from that controversy. And then I also did a blog post on the National Elk Refuge, which is another interesting historical story, also about recovering a species. The elk was even though now it's doing well, it was in huge decline, and the National Elk Refuge was one of the first early attempts to try and restore a species. And it was very successful. Today, most of the refuge is not open because it's there primarily to provide untouched habitat to help the elk. But there are, I think, 4 paths, pretty long paths, up to 50, 90 miles that you can walk in. And it's a really interesting place to go to because it's one of the few national protected areas that are for the most part largely undeveloped or untouched. So you can really hear more than even in like Yellowstone, you can see what the West may have looked like prior to all the development that's taken place. You can also do some hunting in the elk refuge. They have a lot of rules. There are a limited number of elk you can take, but it is possible to hunt in the refuge as well. So that's another, I think, interesting story where we were quite successful at restoring a species I think elk is one of those species that almost everyone, maybe I'm wrong about this, but almost everyone wants to save. I mean, it's kind of an iconic species, but it's also a lot of people, big game hunters, love elk. So a lot of people from very different backgrounds and political leanings have an interest in saving the elk. And that was one of those success stories where we were able to restore a portion of the West and now find some balance between creating an environment where people can enjoy that area, but it can also help a species recover and return to somewhat of its old numbers. So that was a little bit on a kind of history bent this past week, but I got sidetracked by some interesting stories I read about various species in the West. And I'm going to have one more article that came out of the elk research there's a kind of form of mad cow disease that is impacting elk that I thought may be interesting to learn about. Then I'll go back to some more like true real estate related topics, so you can keep an eye out for those as well. If you go to the YouTube channel, we have been posting a lot of shorts. We've been working on shorts for all of our videos, so if you're interested, for all of our properties, so if you're interested in just a little quick video on any particular property, you can check those out. And I'll be posting some more longer videos with a little more detail about a number of the properties I recently posted as well. Okay. So I think that's about it for the latest content I posted. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much, or you thought it was somewhat interesting. But that would lead us to the big event, which is the vacation giveaway, unless anyone has any questions. But I think most of you, I see a lot of familiar faces here, so I know most of you are familiar with how the vacation giveaway works. But still, I'm going to go over the terms. I'll go back to spotted owl images while I'm going over this, just for the fun of it. So what it is it's a voucher. It's usually good for a 3-night stay, although in some locations it's 4 nights. It's in a hotel that our travel partner classifies as luxury. And the hotel stay is complimentary, but you do have to pay the regular taxes associated with the hotel. And the way it works is if you win the voucher, oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad someone appreciated it. Well, yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd, but it's nice to hear that other people like these topics. So the voucher, how it will work is, if you win, I'll send my email to you so you have it, but just send me an email. I'll send you a list of locations. It's over 50. Over 30 are in the US, and then there are also a bunch of global locations as well. You do have to pick your location up front. So you can take some time, look through all of it, think about where you want to go. Let me know where you want to go, and then I will send you the voucher. Every location has a number of different hotels you can choose from. You won't be able to see the hotels until you redeem your voucher. So that's just something I want to be upfront about, but there are a lot of choices in every location. Once I send you the voucher, you have 7 days to redeem it. That's not 7 days to book your stay, just to redeem the voucher. At the time you redeem the voucher, you do have to pay the taxes. But once redeemed, you have 18 months to decide when you want to go and which hotel, and book your stay. A few other notes. There are some dates that you won't be able to book, usually major holidays, and there is a small fee in most cases for weekend bookings. So keep that in mind as well. And the last few pointers, it's typically for 1 or 2 people, so 1 person or a couple, but there will be some hotels that will let you bring 2 children as well. You just have less options, but there will be some. And you are only allowed to redeem one vacation voucher every 12 months. So if you've won a vacation voucher before, or you got it because you purchased a property from us, you won't be able to use a second voucher this year, but you can always give it to a friend or family member, or just let me know that you have a voucher already and I can give you a hotel savings card instead. All right, so those are the basic terms. What I'm going to do is I'll just have everyone who wants to participate say yes in the chat. We'll then assign everyone a number. It'll be in order that you said yes. So the first person will be 1, the second will be 2, so on and so on. And then I'll have Google pick a random number. Pretty simple. So I'll just give everyone, let's say 30 seconds, a minute to say yes, make sure everyone gets a chance to participate. Anyone do anything fun this weekend? It's been very hot here, so we went to a museum today, which is fun. And oh, that's too bad. You had to work during the weekend. Yeah, I work most of the weekend too, so, but yeah, it's no fun. I hope you all are getting a chance to at least go to the pool or, do something summery. Yeah, the economy's bad. Yeah. It's hard when it's so hot. A lot of the traditional summer activities you can't do. But we try to get up early so we can go out and do some exercise outside before the sun really comes up. But we have to get up very early to beat the heat. All right, so it looks like everyone who's going to participate has. I'll just wait another 10 seconds. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wait, you already said yes. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. So that looks like 11. If I'm wrong, let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think I excluded doubles, so I think that was 11 total. All right, so let's have Google. Looks like number 8 is our winner. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alita, you would be this week's winner. Congratulations. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining. I'll be here every Sunday, giving away a voucher every Sunday. So if you keep showing up, you will likely get one as well. I'm putting my email in the chat. So if you just email me, I'll send you a list of locations and you can let me know where you would like to go. And as for everyone else, thank you so much again for being here. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I hope to see you all next weekend, same time, same place.